How's it going, everybody? We got the Shadow King nodes Datamined for you today. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is that this is not set in stone. This is not like Envoy confirmed information. This is from a Datamine that happened late last night on Reddit, and looking over the nodes, I do think there's some validity to these options, but I also have some thoughts on these nodes. It also kind of solidifies the teams that I would suggest people use and the teams that I plan to use on these nodes. So I think there's actually a lot of information we can gather from this. And let's be real, data mines have been, what, 99% correct? So we'll have to wait and see. But let's go ahead and let's start this one off. And of course, we got to start with the unrestricted section. Node number 1 is the only unrestricted node, right? This is an interesting node because it looks really easy. Like wave 1, I mean, Moon Knight's kind of a threat. Wave 2, a Shang-Chi, kind of a threat. And then wave 3, there is a credible threat here in the 3 Night Stalker characters. I think that's kind of interesting. And don't count out Night Nurse with her buff flips and stuff like that, right? When I see this node, though, it does remind me heavily of the Old Man Logan unrestricted node in the sense that we see minions, we see really underwhelming characters, and that's a good thing. Why is that a good thing? Well, it means we can use this node in one of 3 ways. If we are a newer player and we cannot do the Illuminati node, and we cannot do the Undying Mercs node, and we cannot do, what's the other one, Annihilator node, then we should be able to still do this node. And we should be able to do this node on a high difficulty. I'm thinking like Extreme with the charges stacking from Sunspot will blow through this. Spider Society would blow through this. So that's a good thing because those players would be able to bring those teams up to like 1 million, 1.2 million power, right? And they would be able to beat difficulty 14, node 1, get the Shadow King unlock. And that is crucial. It is so important that all players can do that because you need to have Shadow King for Battle World. And we don't know when the Shadow King event will rerun. So I think it's good that Scobie left this door open for all players to get the unlock, assuming this is the node composition. I'm just going to go on the assumption from now on that these are the correct nodes. All right. The second way you could use this is a blow it up high efficiency node. So if all the nodes are super easy and all the packs which you've seen don't seem overwhelming while going through these nodes, it looks like the leaderboard is going to be, you know, everybody who has a 6-star character is going to be attempting difficulty 15 with all the packs on, which would really cluster that leaderboard up. And then you look at node 1 and you say, I got to blow this thing up. So if you blow this thing up, you get great efficiency, you start your runoff on the right foot, right? And that could be the second use for this node. The third use for this node, which I think would be way more interesting, but I'm not sure is necessary, is as a staging node. We have a couple great characters in some of the less catered to sections that preparing them would be really good. I think about Deathpool, right? She's a brawler, prepping her ult, permakill, get it ready to go. Red Hulk, another brawler, prep his ult. Vol, another brawler, get her ult ready. God, some of the Annihilators get Thanos Endgame's ult ready to go. Oh, there's so many characters that having their abilities ready for when they go makes them so much better. But it comes down to, is that even necessary when we're approaching those nodes? Well, let's take a look. Let's go do those sections. And let's start off with the Illuminati node. Now, I don't think you need to prepare the Illuminati at all for this. They already come in with a lot of the cooldowns ready. And honestly, this node, the composition looks really easy, right? We don't have Green Goblin in on spawn. Even the Red Hulk's not in on spawn. I would have actually liked to see that. It'd be a bit more challenging. But there is the other side of the coin where, hey, if Goblin's coming in later, you do have to prepare your characters in such a way that when he drops in, you get a turn with somebody that does a control effect, right? But because it's not on spawn, you have multiple options for that. If you have Captain Britain, both of his abilities stun. So if he's about to take a turn when Goblin drops in, boom, Goblin is stunned. Mr. Fantastic has a stun, boom, stun. Black Panther Shuri, she's got her charge strip, which will do an ability block on her special. So now we have, 3 different characters that are able to control the Green Goblin if he'd have dropped in and they're about to take a turn. Whereas opposed, if he's there on spawn, it's just Black Panther Shuri. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. The other characters here, they're going to be a little impactful. And I think the idea you're going to want to go with here is take out the Lizard, take out the leaders, and then we'll see when these waves drops in. Because it's not going to be you have to clear the entire wave 1 and then wave 2 drops in. No, it would be like once 2 people from wave 1 die, wave 2 drops in. Once 1 more person after that dies, wave 3 drops in. It would be something like that, right? Well, at least I would hope so. It would be way too easy. So I do think there'll be a little bit of skill expression on this node, but not too much. So I don't think you should be worried about it. And you definitely don't need Captain Britain for this. Like I said, you would have Hank's stun. You would have Mr. Fantastic stun, and you would have Shuri's special for Goblin when he drops in. So it's not really like you're going to have to hold all your abilities either. We'll see, though. Let's head on over to node number 3, Global Villain. Node 3, the Global Villain section. So this is where we're going to be using teams like Cabal or maybe Orcus. But Crucible rules are in effect. War rules are not into effect. And that's going to be something we're going to kind of see a lot expressed in this video when I go through these nodes is we're using Crucible and Arena characters against War characters. But there's no War Pact. So what are we really worried about? And I don't think we are worried about anything here. Now, you could use Orcus on this node. I think that'd be fine. But why wouldn't you use Cabal? Right? If you're walking in on the first wave is 2 Cosmic Ghost Riders and a Peggy Carter and some goddamn Pegasus, why would I worry about that? Cabal will come in here, demolish this, and they'll have their abilities ready for when Black Knight drops in. But not just that, who is another great global villain that you can have going into this? Apocalypse. So we can have this in such a way that the Cabal characters, they get speed up. Say we bring in Lady Deathstrike, Apocalypse, and Cabal members. Lady Deathstrike goes first, gets a crit, and then the Cabal members go, and they're going to kill enough people that Black Knight spawns in. Well, all of a sudden, Apocalypse does his punch, and he yeets that goddamn Black Knight into the Nether Realm, and then this node is just done. It's just easy. So I don't think this node is going to be difficult. And then we go to wave 3. Captain America World War II? Why? U.S. Agent, I know we're going to be voting on Thunderbolts. That hasn't happened yet. He doesn't have a rework. He's going to be trash. This node looks so easy. And with Cabal being incredibly powerful in Crucible, and Iron Patriot making villains incredibly hard-hitting in Crucible, I don't think I care to even try and shoehorn Orcus in here. It's just going to be Cabal. And the healing that Leader does is absurd. The one X factor we don't know about is Black Knight. Is Black Knight going to be the normal kind of neutered PvE version where he doesn't put trauma, he doesn't do heal block, or is he going to be the goddamn ballbuster PvP character that we all have to face when we fight each other, where he's obliterating people? And keep in mind, difficulty 15, his health pool is going to be nuts, so maybe, just maybe, he'll be one-shotting people on difficulty 15? We'll have to wait and see, but I think they'll probably tone him down. I'm not too worried about that. That'll lead us to node 7. So we're going to do this one together, right? Global Villain leads to Global Villain. And again, this is an entire war composition. We have like an infestation hodgepodge team with some supernatural characters. But we are in Crucible, and that's a war team. We are going to demolish this. I mean, Big Time Spider-Man, if he was in war, it would be somewhat interesting. He would need another infestation character to make him actually function. But he would, you know, steal some energy, and he would, I mean, you would just reset until he chooses one of your Cabal people because they have Safeguard on spawn. But he would flip other people's buffs, like, well, no, because you'd have Apocalypse to Safeguard. You'd have the three Cabal people to Safeguard. There'd only be one person that could even get hit by his buff flips. I don't think there's any reason why they shouldn't have war packs on these nodes, is what I'm trying to get at. Anyway, this is going to be super easy, kind of annoyingly so. Cabal's going to come in here, and you're just going to fight this for efficiency. Morgan Le Fay could be annoying, could be very dangerous at higher difficulties, but Cabal shuts her down. No speed bar for her is kind of like, who cares? It's just dunzo. It's too easy. So the Global Villain section, don't worry about that section, guys. You have your Cabal built up for Old Man Logan, right? Well, if you did that, you're going to soar through these nodes anyway, so just keep it on rolling. All right, so let's go back over to node 4 now, the Brawlers node. And this node I thought was kind of really interesting. So we have 4 Sentinels in wave 1, so they're all going to summon, so that's 8 characters there, and then we have 3 Weapon X people. You do the math. 8 plus 3 is more than 10. I'm not sure how this node is going to go. Probably one of the Sentinels just won't have room to spawn in, I guess. But this is kind of interesting. So there's going to be so many pre-taunts. We have some dangerous characters. Like if Lady Deathstrike has a decent amount of stats, as we've seen with Orcus, this could be pretty problematic, right? But we have Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler as a brawler giving speed up to himself and speed bar to his allies will come in here and just wreck face. We have Red Hulk who's going to come in here and he could have his ultimate ready. We talked about that from node 1. Vol could have her ult ready and that would just wipe the board with this, right? And then you just rebuild those cooldowns. So the Brawlers Node 1, again, I see Weapon X here. I see a war team. But it's more than just, there's no war pact. I also see Omega Red is not on the first wave, which is okay. That could be something that's interesting, right? If war packs were on, we annihilate that first wave. Omega Red drops in. A couple of his Weapon X buddies are alive, so he gets maybe not 75% speed bar. Maybe he gets like 40% speed bar, and that's the threat. That's the problem that we have to Rubik's Cube our way out of. The way this is now, the Brawler team is going to walk over this, right? There's not even a Scientist Supreme on this node, apparently, according to the Datamined. So it's like, Vault Alts, clears wave 1, Omega Red drops in, you're going to use maybe Endgame Thanos special on him, put the Exposed on him, and then you're just going to kind of beat him up a little bit, get your Vol Ultimate rolling back again for node number, I believe it's 9 for Brawlers at that point, or 8. It's going to be interesting, I guess, to see, but this is, again, is just going to be a high efficiency node where having your ultimates ready, popping it real fast, I think is going to net great results. And not very difficult. So because of the type of Brawler characters we have been forced to build, the Nightcrawlers, the Vols, the Endgame Thanos, the Blades, this node is going to fall over super fast, I think. But node number 8 is a little different, all right? And this I thought was actually kind of interesting. I did have hope the Brawler section was going to give us a problem that would be interesting to solve. And this is true because Crucible rules, you're probably going to have active. We talked about using Cabal. We need Crucible rules for that. We talked about Illuminati. They have the node. We need Crucible rules for that. Well, Brawlers, I mean, we don't have like a Crucible Brawlers team. We do, however, have an unlimited X-Men Crucible team. And we're seeing the best parts of that team here. Gambit, Rogue, Dazzler. But they're also throwing in a pre-taunt, Iceman with slows, Jubilee who's got a stun, and lots of turn meter stuff happening there, right? So node number 8 actually does look very dangerous. So node number 4, could I absolutely just blow through it and not have to think about anything whatsoever? Yes. But when it comes to node number 8, I do have some concerns. Because Rogue is going to give Safe Ground Spawn to herself, Dazzler, and Gambit. So I can't flip their stuff right away. What I could do on this node, though, and I think this is going to be crucial, is I could Red Hulk Ultimate to give them trauma. Why would this be important? Well, this would be important because Dazzler is going to flip buffs, right? She'll flip debuffs kind of thing, or remove them. And she'll put a nasty ability block out there. Well, if I come in here and I use Nightcrawler Special, I would be able to use, whoever gets the speed bar would then be able to go, right? Maybe Vol, we go for the ult, we go for the straight kill. Maybe we can make it to be Red Hulk so we get the trauma out there. Maybe it'll be Blade and we can just kill everybody that he touches if you have a big Blade, right? So there's a little bit of interest in me there. I could also have Nightcrawler ult up ready and just give them all slow, but Dazzler would then flip that, right? So that could be an issue, I think. Where am I going with this? What I'm trying to say here is that we do have a Crucible team on defense that we were fighting with non-Crucible characters, and that interests me, and it does make me wary that I have to go from node 4 to node 8 with some heavy power cooldowns ready to go. So I do think you can blow through node 4, but it might be too fast. You might want to slow play it, so I do walk into node 8 with Vol ult, with Red Hulk ult, with Nightcrawler special then ult, with Blade ultimate, right? There's a lot of cooldowns that you might want to walk into this one with, because the first wave is tough. Wave 2 and Wave 3, not so much. Wave 2, Colossus comes in. That's a health trigger taunt. Magic, there's lots of buffs there. Kitty Pryde, Kitty Pryde got reworked a little bit. Okay, it's okay. But then Wave 3, Madeline comes in alone. Like, that's not Mephisto. That's a solo Madeline. What the heck is she going to do? Again, war rules are not active. There's no, Marauders that she's going to be getting pings off of in the previous waves. I don't know. But this is kind of the most interesting node for me, at least from a theory crafting perspective. I want to make sure I'm entering node 8, cooldowns ready to go. And I'm going to showcase this when I actually get to either test this or when we do it live when it comes out on the 22nd. And we'll come in here dry and see what happens. And we'll come in here with cooldowns up and we'll see what happens. We'll have guides and all that kind of stuff. Keep your eyes peeled for that. But now let's talk about the Mercs section. All right, node number 5, the Mercs and Undying node. A lot of people are concerned about this one. After I saw this, all my concerns went out the window, and my bias towards the Mercs team being just light years better than the Undying team was 100% validated. So like we have Weaver coming out, right? And she's gonna be the fastest character. I don't think there's any character that's faster than her, unless for some reason we do get the war tags on. All of a sudden Pandapool and Taskmaster would be faster, and I guess Scarlet Witch Zombie would stop her from getting speedbar on hits. Stuff like that would happen, right? Which is why I like the idea of them adding war rules, but we didn't see that in the blog, unfortunately. What we do have, though, is we have 4 Masters of Evils with no Kang on spawn. I mean, they'd be on defense, so he wouldn't give them speed up via the Crucible rules anyway, but he would stop us from getting speed up. A couple interesting things would happen there in that interaction, right? But what we're just going to have to do here is we're just going to have to tank the Weaver charges, and then we're just going to blow it up. Like, Old Man Logan, you're going to do, maybe you'll do Claws Out so he gets Safeguard, and he gets, maybe you'll do his special, so he gets Safeguard, and he gets Death Proofs and all that kind of stuff. Then you're just going to use basics, or some stuff that gives you buffs, right? To the point where you outlive the 5 Weaver charges, and then you're going to tunnel her down as fast as possible. I don't think there's any character in this first wave that gives any sort of credible threat to Pandapool, Deadpool, Old Man Logan, Hela, because I do think that Greg is going to be instrumental in helping get charges off here, and Zombie Iron Man, because if we do get some bleeds out there, some unavoidable attacks, it'll bypass the Weaver charges anyway, right? But one thing we got to be mindful of is Weaver has permakills, so that is something to be concerned with, I guess. So maybe you want to do a burn attack here? I'm not sure. Because if you do a burn attack, she'll still keep the charges on from the next fight. So it's going to be interesting, but you would avoid the stun trauma, I guess. I don't really know how to look at this note, because it seems like it's just going to be Mercs plus the 2 Undying characters, Zombie Iron Man and Hela, are going to walk through this. Survive the stun, eat up the charges, Old Man Logan takes over and just crushes absolutely everything. Second wave comes in, we do have a Death Pool that comes in, but no other new warriors. So she's not really going to be getting that much speed bar on spawn. And there's no raid rules, so she's not giving Vol extra speed or anything like that. I mean, I like the kind of the context here where we are seeing a bunch of Scopely original characters. I wish they threw Kestrel in there too, if for no other reason that I think it wouldn't matter. And then yeah, the Master. I don't see this being difficult. I think we were dead on when we thought that Pandapool, Deadpool, Old Man Logan, Hela, Zombie Iron Man, they'll just wax through this. I think so. And that'll lead us to node number 9, which, yet again, the opening wave just seems far too easy. Far too easy. The only credible threat here is going to be Nova with his stun, but we'll probably just reset until Nova tags Old Man Logan, giving him speed bar. And as long as we have an Old Man Logan stun or ultimate ready from the previous node number 4, or node number 5, then we would control the cloak and we would just win. So again, it's just going to be the Old Man Logan show. Scarlet Witch, I know people are freaking out. You know, Mercs Undying, you're sneaking this under the rug at the last second. Now I'm screwed for the event. No, guys, your Old Man Logan's going to be what you need here. It's not going to be Scarlet Witch Zombie. Unless they put in war rules, which I really hope they do, because it would make all the nodes more interesting that we've seen so far. But I don't think they will. They just don't like doing last minute stuff like that. Just not concerned. Again, you would just want to kind of reset until Nova tags your Old Man Logan. He gets speed bar, you control the cloak, and from there, your Old Man Logan never lets off the gas. There's no interesting Crucible characters here, with I guess the exception of Deathpool, but she drops in on the last wave. So by then, Cloak and Dagger are probably dead. We're going to have to kill Gwen, because she's going to taunt, right? And we want to kill her anyway before Deathpool comes in. I'm going to hand wave this node. I don't think it's going to be too difficult unless they do some crazy stuff with the characters. But I don't think that's going to be the case. All right, the final nodes we should talk about are going to be node number 6, the Annihilators. Oh, Scopely, please, you're hurting me here. We have what could be a super fun fight to do, right? We have Alpha Flight, and we have 2 pandas, and then we have the rest of the Mercs team drop in, and on paper, like, this could be super fun if this was war buffed Alpha Flight, Mercs for money, going head to head against Annihilators with the arena buffs. Like, that would be fun. As it is, guys, Mercs for money and Alpha Flight are going to get decimated by your Annihilators. Probably on giant punch-ups, right? Because you have the arena rules. You're going to attach the arena rules. We haven't seen any Annihilator characters that are going to be facing us. So the arena rules, we haven't even seen like Black Cat or Secret Defenders that are going to be facing us. All we've seen is war characters. So you're going to put the arena tag on, and your Annihilators are going to blow this node up. You don't even need to think about this. Basically, you're going to hit auto, and when Old Man Logan drops in, you're going to target him, and that's going to be that. I guess if you want some strategic talking points, though, it would be make sure you kill Panda before Deadpool drops in, so the revive's off the table, and that would basically be it. When Pandas are dead, then you kill the Deadpool, and then you kill the Old Man Logan when he drops in, and that would basically be it. So you shouldn't be concerned about your Annihilators whatsoever, besides just getting them to the star level you want to do the difficulty you want to attempt, right? That's about it. All right, node 10. This node looks fun, but again, it would be so much more fun if war rules were applied. So what do we got for node 10? This is your Illuminati or Annihilators node. Wave 1, we got Thor, Jane, Loki, Thor, Sylvie, Sif. Does that sound like just a crazy group of characters? It does, yeah, it is. This wave is trash, okay? But I think what they're going for here, and if let's just go through the other waves. Teen Loki, Beta Ray Bill, Valkyrie for wave number 2. Wave number 3 is going to be Vol, Hela, Heimdall. A little bit of interest there with Vol, I guess. And wave 4 is going to be Odin. If I think back to the Old Man Logan trial, the Mephisto was also in a wave of his own, and he dropped in when there was, I think, 3 enemies left. So there could be the same situation here where it's like, okay, we want to leave, we want to leave the Thors alive because we'll just eat those charge attacks, or we'll just have Gore continuously take those charges off. We want to make sure Vol and Hela aren't alive when Odin drops in. It could be something like that. We had that in the Old Man Logan trial where we wanted to kill Nova, and I believe it was Green Goblin before Mephisto dropped in. So there could be that sense of synergy here. But Odin is not Mephisto. And Annihilators and Illuminati are not Cabal, right? The Annihilators and Illuminati, they will lose steam. The Illuminati in particular, they get speed up on spawn, so they go fast out the gate, but they do slow down. And by the time they reach wave 4, I don't think they'd have enough in their tank to take Odin out before he heals and goes nuts, right? Same thing with Annihilators. I don't think Annihilators on the highest difficulty would actually have what it takes to one-shot this node, because like they'll probably cruise through waves 1, 2, and 3, and then Odin, like they're gonna get him real close to dead. But if he has any sort of meaningful stats, he will get that special off, right? And if he gets an assist before he gets that special off, all of a sudden he's throwing those damn lightning bolts at you, and boy howdy, he's gonna wreck you. He's gonna heal up, he'll eventually reach his ult, and he'll destroy you. If this node is tuned to be competitive, the way it should work is you use Annihilators to beat nodes 1, 2, and 3, and hopefully kill almost everybody, right? Except for Odin. And then you would come in with Illuminati for a second hit, right? Because Illuminati has speed up on spawn. They do crazy damage. They get 100% nuke on Odin down before he gets to do a bunch of healing. That's what would make sense if this is going to be competitive. But I think that's where I should probably do kind of a wrap up on this video. Talk about these nodes. Talk about the problems I see, both the good and the good problems that we need to solve, the bad problems, which is like, how is this going to be impactful in the leaderboard and how people experience this event. So let's go wrap that up. All right, so my final thoughts. There's a lot of good, but I think there's also a lot of concerning things here. The Friday start, November 22nd, this is not even part of the video, but this is just something we know. The good news there, Steven brought that up in chat, is that because it should be a 10-day event like all legendary events of this nature have been in the past, we'll get 2 weekends to work on our trial scores. That's great. The bad news is because it's Friday, we've also had trials in the past that came super scuffed. I believe it was the Nova trial was just broken. Like bio characters are going stupid on that. I think it was all characters actually. One of the events was like that. So hopefully it does not come super bugged. I didn't get to test it. So, don't point at me if it's broken. Like, why didn't you play test it? Not me. I get to test it. All right. I really, really like they didn't close that loophole on node number 1. The fact that node number 1 is still unrestricted and the node seems super easy, I do think like anybody who's been playing the game for a few months now will easily be able to get Shadow King unlocked. And that's really important because I'm looking at the Astral team the same way I look at raid teams right now, right? Battle World happens literally every single day except for Sunday, and there is an Astral node every single day culminating with Null, where Astral's going to be really good. You need to have Shadow King unlocked for that, and this gives a really, really easy window for players to do just that. I think that's fantastic. I love that. That's amazing, right? The flip side of, it's great that they made it easy is the rest of the nodes seem too easy. Besides node 1, which I like that node looks easy. It can be great for stage. It could be great for new players. All the other nodes look way too simple, way too dumbed down for the characters that are just going to kind of be the best for it, right? So I think back to like the Illuminati nodes, and people were freaking out about this. People were freaking out that you were going to need Captain Britain to have your Illuminati team be successful. I don't see any Super Skrull. I don't see any sort of souped up Noir. I don't see Goblin on spawn, so I'm not worried about his safeguard there. And if I go to the next one after that, like I see Asgardians. So Iron Man Illuminati is going to be perfectly fine, in my opinion, which means you're going to have people that have their Illuminati team maybe all the way to 7 stars. I know my baby account, I do have the entire Illuminati team at 7 stars, which means I have diamonds on them. So the Illuminati nodes, I'm not concerned with those whatsoever. And then the Annihilator nodes, like, again, it was pushed back long enough that my baby count, conceivably, if I can get, I think, like 20 more Thanos shards, I'll have the entire team at 6 red stars. If I did that, that means moderate spenders, pass buyers, they're going to have their Annihilators all the way up to 7 stars, and thus they're going to be benefiting from some of those diamonds as well. So I'm definitely concerned about leaderboard clutter. Because the nodes look so easy, because we don't have enough penalizing packs, like we have some good packs that do some interesting things here and there, but not enough that you're not just going to equip all, like if you're the kind of player who buys passes and does that kind of stuff, you are going to just equip all the packs to do difficulty 15. You just will, right? Because nothing is going to really hinder you that much. Which, leaderboard clutter, I think that we could see a lot of very similar scores, kind of just off by a couple digits, like double digits at most, maybe some with triple digit differences, but it'll come down to efficiency, which is just like how many turns did you take. So because they've never defined efficiency for us, we're kind of just hoping, or we assume that it's just turns taken. Doesn't seem to be any sort of indication that the health of your characters matter, the amount of healing you've done, nothing like that seems to be taken into account, right? So I think there'll be a lot of leaderboard clutter, which means there's going to be a lot of people resetting their runs to try and do as good as possible. And then there's the issue of leaderboard ties. So because efficiency is so fickle, and it is actually hard to kind of distinguish yourself if it is what efficiency has been in all other previous legendary events, the way ties have been working recently is that if I do a tie with somebody, because I did the last action, it'll shoot me down. So let's say, just to keep it simple, my first run is 1,000 points, okay? 1,000 points. And then my second run, I score 1,000 points again. Well, okay, let's start this over. Say my run scores at 1,000 points and I'm at rank 1. I do another run, I get exactly 1,000 points again, but there was 5 other people that had scored 1,000 points after me. Well, it's going to drop me all the way down. So that could be an issue. I don't think that'll be a widespread issue, but it is something to keep an eye out for. Because of these issues, I really have to question, why don't we have a war pact? A war pact, just that pact, would really elevate the difficulty of these nodes, and I think would help distinguish the leaderboard at least a little bit. Mind you, I don't think it would fix those issues, because Cabal is going to walk through a lot of this, right? When you have a Weapon X team that doesn't spawn with Omega Red on spawn, which I guess Cabal would stop that anyway. But because we don't have those opening threats, I just don't see how it would be. I just don't see why we don't have war packs, I guess what I'm trying to say. It's weird to not have war packs in what I'm seeing here on the node compositions. Besides that, they really need to bring back the other harder packs. Think like Morgan Le Fay, use your special, get ability luck, use your ultimate, get blind. Why wouldn't you already have those coded? We used them last season in Crucible, right? Why wouldn't we just bring those back, put them on here? Like those type of packs, and like your special class one, we have those. You've developed that technology. Why not just put them in here? Because those packs exponentially increase the difficulty of the modes and really, really help make sure the leaderboard isn't too cluttered, isn't too ridiculous. I just find it awkward that they haven't done that myself. But there's a lot we don't know here. Are these nodes the actual nodes? Are these characters going to act the way we expect them to act? Like we talked about Black Knight for a second there. Will Black Knight be the PvE Black Knight that doesn't do trauma, does a lot less damage, and I don't even think he puts heal block on you? Or will he be a PvP Black Knight? Will characters drop in with loaded speed bar? Loaded buffs, like we've seen them do stuff like that at times in PvE modes, like Battle World has a bunch of that, which it should. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, by the way. Especially because in this mode, you can just back out and try again. So when they throw crazy stuff at you, I actually enjoy that. It adds to the puzzle. There's a lot of unknowns that maybe I'm just wrong here. Maybe all enemy characters will have war buffs and we won't. Maybe that's just programmed in. I mean, you would think they would communicate that with us if that's going to be the case. But I don't know. Anyway, I've discussed it with people on stream, and a lot of them agree with me that we need some sort of way to differentiate people's scoring here. So I have suggested that they bring some of those packs that I just talked about, especially the War Pack, but those other penalizing, Horseman packs that we used to have. But I'm super interested to know your opinion on this, guys. What do you guys think about these nodes? I'm going to include, just like last time, my save squads that I intend to use, especially given all this information now. You can take a look at that if you want, see how your characters line up, see if it's something you want to start investing in. But I would suggest you just wait. The event is coming soon. Hoard your gold, hoard your T4s, hoard your training materials. Get ready to dump it on these characters to help you in your Shadow King adventures. But that's it for me. If you like this video, please leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. But without further ado, have yourselves a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later. Bye. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.